Three, two, one. Jaguar Tang.
What's up, man?
What's up, bro? I hope you're okay. I really appreciate you doing this, bro. So,
Yeah.
how are you guys holding up there
Good.
in quarantine life?
I'm cooking more and more now.
Ano?
Purple belt na.
Lahat tayo nagluluto.
Okay. No choice. No, but I've been cooking a lot naman ever since we got married.
Yeah.
Trish. But yeah, more so now because I used to cook like good for 1 week. Tapos isang ulam lang para
Oo.
madali lang. Now it's like
Hindi.
every day I'm something different.
Oh, diba? I mean, it's the ano eh, it's the meal prep. It used to be the meal prep stage,
Yeah,
and then ngayon, now every day is fine dining levels. Diba?
exactly. Yeah.
Everyone, everyone. Yan na yung ano ngayon eh. Yan na yung flex. That's the daily flex ngayon eh. That's the daily flex. What did you cook today? And then
Exactly.
and then people will level it up. Okay, everyone's cooking. I'm gonna start baking. Yeah, I'm gonna start baking. I'm
Yeah.
gonna show people that I'm doing dough. I'm kneading dough. I'm rolling out dough, and it goes to the oven. Uh,
Exactly.
when everyone's doing everyone's doing pandesal, everyone's
Yes.
doing bread, everyone's doing sourdough. And then the flip side of that is ano, yung the cookie making. Everyone's showing their dough and their chocolate chips, and then I'm seeing a lot of the people from our community go like everyone's cooking.
Hey, but I've
Everyone,
seen some good ones though.
there are really good ones. As in,
I actually even ordered some from like a couple of people that train
mm,
jiu-jitsu. Galing,
masarap.
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
masarap siya. Ang galing. Like for example, I follow every time I see May's page, she's baking something. It's either she's baking bread or she's doing pretzels. And then we have a blue belt in Marikina, si Luisa Franco. She makes a hell of like
Yeah.
super.
Right? I think
Ayun, chocolate
we
chip
ordered
cookies.
before.
Ang galing, ang sarap. Ang sarap ng chocolate chip cookies niya. Okay, now we we've been talking about having this episode for the longest time. As in, at least we're this is the I hope hopefully this is one of many. We're doing our best as coaches to provide as much value to future students and whoever is going to listen to this episode. Um, we are going to share our stories. We're going to share our insights. We are hopefully providing whoever is going to watch this in the future na okay, that was how they were during their time, and they were all helping us prepare for today. So at least I want this to be the platform or at least an avenue for Jaguar to share his story. So we will go like we have plenty of time. Okay, we have plenty of time. Don't worry about it. Martial arts journey muna tayo. So from the beginning, Jag.
All
From the
right.
beginning. Go.
So actually, I was a fat kid, like really fat. So I started working out, and then um, in the condo where I used to live in, there's a gym with a punching bag, and then I saw this guy teaching boxing, and I was interested. So it happened to be Gary Garay, who I'm sure you know.
Gary Garay!
Gary Garay, who would have thought? He's my first instructor. Dude, I swear, Gary Garay. And I swear to God, like, I still do.
Ubo.
Yep.
Ang liit ng mundo. It's a
Yeah.
small world after all. Natawa ako kasi first time ko malamang napagari-garay ka rin.
Diba? Diba?
Go, go. Gari-garay.
And for like, I think 2 years, I took boxing and, grappling. And then, actually, a lot of people don't know this, but so see, Gary, he told me to, if I want to like, really concentrate on MMA, I should check out Submission Sport with Erwin Tagle.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, yeah, I guess my first formal grappling instruction came from Erwin with
Mm-hmm.
Submission. And then from Submission Sport, at the time they were under KMA. So Erwin was like, hey, you should, check out KMA and like if you want to train pure jiu-jitsu. So I went there and then, I stuck with it, had a lot of fun. Um, I think that was what, 12 years ago?
Mga 12 years ago yun, yeah.
12 years ago, yeah. So I went to KMA, I trained there, and then I think after my blue belt, because I took MMA, I joined
Oh,
MMA one.
nag-MMA ka, lumabang ka rin sa University Challenge before.
Exactly.
Oh, di ba?
Gosh, it's so embarrassing.
Doon
I
kami,
did-
doon kami unang nagkakilala ni Jaguar.
Oh shit, really?
Doon tayo unang nagkakilala. Kasi JR fought in that card as well.
Ah,
Alam
okay.
ko, JR fought in that. Oh, tama, JR fought. Oh, medyo malaki ka nun eh. Medyo mas malaki ka nun.
Yeah,
So, tawag dito, tapos, weigh-ins, and then we got introduced backstage. And then, yun nga, parang sabi ko, yan si Jaguar Tang. Sabi ko, okay. Tapos, biglang pinakilala tayo, nag-high five lang tayo. Okay, tapos wala na. Tapos, sabi ko, ba't meron dun? Sabi ko, hindi kasi sabi nung, like one of the, ang tawag dito, naalala ko nun, one of the organizers of URL, sabi, hindi, ano yan, nagte-training yan sa Subsport, tsaka sa KMA, magaling yan. Sabi ko, di okay. Sabi ko, di okay. Sabi, mag-jiu-jitsu tournaments din yan. Then sabi ko, sigurado magkikita kami niyan. Pero hindi. Tapos ito sabi ko, pero laki niya eh. Laki niya eh.
Yep.
And then you won your fight. You won your fight on that evening. You got mount and then ground and pound.
Exactly. Wow,
Yo.
I remember.
Oh, yun. Okay, so MMA afterwards.
Yeah. So MMA. The thing is, I kind of got burnt out from MMA, from training actually, because it's tiring, man. Like I was in college then, so I would train like three times a day, and like almost every day, and I just got burnt out. And so I started doing jiu-jitsu. I'm purely jiu-jitsu. I was a blue belt then, so after that I stopped training completely. Like I just didn't like it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I still continued to train jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started going back as a white belt. I won quite a lot as a white belt because this is personally. I think it's because I was one of the first to really have a proper strength and conditioning program. So I felt like I was a lot stronger than a lot of my opponents in white belts. As a blue belt though, like technique matters a little more now. As you progress, technique will matter more. So I couldn't rely on like my strength anymore. And I felt, to put it in plain words, I got picked on. Like, fuck, I'm losing in the gym. I'm losing in competition. It's like this, I was really, really competitive. And when I didn't get the result I wanted, I just wanted to stop. I was like, what's the point? I'm not going to win. Not well. And then, so it was just a really, really low time for me. And then I also started working, so I didn't know how to balance between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Then, fast forward like 2 years, I just felt like I wasn't healthy anymore. I gained probably like 10, 15 kilos. Like 70, I became 82, 83 kilos. And I just didn't feel great about myself. So, good thing, like, a couple of my friends, they kept pushing me to train again. So eventually I slowly went back. And then I just started to think about why I took jiu-jitsu in the first place. And I just, I loved learning. I loved having fun, It's like I could have the worst day outside the mats. I could have, a bad day with my parents or with a girlfriend or at work. But as soon as I go back to the mats, it's like everything's gone. So I just remembered that, and I just forgot about winning, forgot about being competitive, and I just went back to the roots of why I trained jiu-jitsu. So I just started having fun. I started learning again. I started being open-minded, worked on my guard. So yeah, believe it or not, like I was a top player on my white belt, blue belt days,
Oh,
and I
I
had
say you were doing MMA. Everyone was doing MMA. Didn't play guard.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I started losing a lot. Lalo na kay Neil, he would really, really kill me, and that just fueled me. So I slowly started learning again, learned guard, and then eventually I realized that as long as you're having fun and you're learning and you're putting in the time, whatever happens in competition is out of your control. And funny enough, that's when I started winning again. I went to my first international tournament was in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, so I was supposed to go there for a business meeting, and then I searched the gym. I asked if I could train, and they're like, "Oh, there's no training because there's a tournament, the National Pro Portugal." So I was like, "Oh, I might as well join."
Might as well
And then
join. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So yeah, surprisingly, I got silver. I did pretty well, and that sort of boosted my confidence. And then I did Asian Open after, and then I just started competing, and then I just always, I'm always going to be competitive, but I always thought about why I took jiu-jitsu, and it's to have fun, and I have fun learning new things. And I just said to myself, as long as I concentrate on that, then there's I'm always going to enjoy jiu-jitsu, win or lose.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then speaking of, like, I wanna like dive deeper into. I think this is a very important thing that especially the beginners, most definitely the competitors right now is the phases of training. The
Yeah,
phases of training, like how do you prepare for a competition? What do you do? More importantly, what are the things that you do during the off season? Because ano yun a lot of people tournament season all out, tapos bigla pag off season talagang off the rails di ba?
no,
Medyo ganyan kami dati, tournament season, puta bakbakan to. Then pag off season it's like wow, from pena which was like 70, I'd blow up to like 82 kilos pag off season. Then I go like
yeah,
sabi ko teka. Then that's when that's when learning happens na parang okay, it reaches a point wherein it's not as easy to cut weight anymore. And then you
exactly.
feel that, and you feel na it's bad for your body. You feel that your body's deteriorating. So at least in your own way, how do you like segment your training? Like how do you phase out your training?
Right. Well, I don't believe in like every season's competition season. Like
Mm-hmm.
I always train for competition. It's just I segment it into days. So there will
Mm-hmm.
be days where I train hard, and
Mm-hmm.
then there will be days where I taper off and work on technique and
Mm-hmm.
not really too hard. Right. So I guess that's how I segment it. There's all like I always do competition training, but then I also know how to rest.
That is true. Okay.
But I think you have to balance it out. For me, there's three aspects of training. There's of course your fundamentals, which is like your regular roles and everything.
Mm.
There's competition training, which is specific training, things you want to work on or things you have to work on. And there's also like studying, and I think that's one aspect a lot of people lack. I always tell my students like if you limit yourself to the four corners of the mats, you're only going to get so far. If you
Mm-hmm.
really win, if you really want to do great, you have to learn by yourself, and you have to do your research, watch videos, study material, and it's all out there. There's no
Mm.
excuse. Like in our time, you have like the Gracie VHS Volume One. You're the shit.
Oh.
Received Game Shark in
Pag,
Jiu-Jitsu.
tas pag may bootleg VCDs nun, di ba?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now it's like YouTube anything and then you can find
Yeah,
it.
everything's on
So
YouTube.
there's no excuse for like students today to not improve.
Now, teka lang, I'm gonna cut you off a bit there. Now, when it comes to the proliferation of information, yeah, there are so many things on YouTube. There are so many things on Instagram right now. The problem lies with which is applicable and which is just for show, diba?
Right. Yeah.
So now it's a matter of like for you, if when your students ask you like, and they show you a video, is this applicable or not, or does this work or not? I mean, does that happen to you? Like, yung may mga nagtatanong na parang, oh, super. Me, it happens to me when white belts show me yung mga super weird na sobrang haba na sequences na parang sabi ko basta ako hindi ko gagawin yan.
Yeah.
Hindi ko gagawin yan.
Yeah,
Diba?
mean, I won't discourage them from trying because like if you no matter how ridiculous it is, as long as you keep trying, you're either going to realize it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
or learn something off it, like maybe a small detail around it or the whole principle. So yeah, similar to you, I'll tell them, me personally, I don't do it because this and that, but in your free time, feel free to try, because I'm not like, when I teach, I don't like telling my students, no, you have to do this, you have to do this. I give them the freedom. I mean, of course, when they're a white belt, I try to give them like the fundamentals first. But
Mm-hmm.
as I want them to find their own journey.
That is true. Yeah.
Like an example is like I've taught the Uchoco brothers for like
Yeah.
a long, right? Yeah, and I'll baby them when they were white belts. I'll what to do and everything, and then they started asking, like, they're blue belts now and they're competitive and everything, and they started asking questions, and then I tell them, like, you should know this, and like do your research. You can answer it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tell them they have to really start to think about their game rather than me feeding them what to do.
Mm.
Because I'm not them. I understand their game a little bit, but at the end of the day, they should know their own game.
Yeah, they have to. It's like they have to find their own mold eventually. They will figure it out din naman. They will figure it out eventually.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, before I left, that was one of the things I told them. Like, from now on, like, if you have questions, you can ask, and for sure I'll correct them. But like the general guide of where you want to go, you have to figure that on your own.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing that I want people to understand is how is our journey in terms of, a lot of people will say, you guys are good, you guys are winning, you guys do this and do that. And I always tell them, na, if you want to achieve this level of like success, it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to make certain sacrifices. I mean, it's as cliche-ish as it may sound, diba? Parang if you want to be a champion, you have to do what champions are doing. So I have my stories, and now I want to ask you, like, because more or less we came from the same era, the same. I mean, it wasn't as easy before. Diba?
Yeah.
It wasn't as easy before. We didn't have that much to go on. We didn't have that much information. All we had was ourselves, our teammates, and the curriculum, whatever it may be during that time. Diba?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so let's first start off balancing training with studies.
Right. So when I was a student, I didn't, like, I was still young, so I didn't really know how to balance life so much. So I concentrated a little too much on training.
Parang, alam mo ba, minsan gusto ko nang skip yung part na yun eh. Dahil so far, lahat ng mga tinatanong ko, medyo pare-pareho tayo, medyo aligned lahat ng sagot natin eh. Parang,
Exactly.
tanggalin ko na kaya sa equation yung tanong na yun. Mga
I don't
tipong,
know,
hindi
my
naman.
knowledge.
Ah, I mean kasi yung mga competitors na tayong mga magkakabatch, parang sabi ko kasi, yeah, we're gonna end up teaching students. We're gonna have our own pool of students. And I go like, the challenge was being a student. Hindi, kasi dati gimikero rin ako. Last school ko meron. Parang ngayon, niisip ko, do I do away with that question? I was like, diba? Pero at
Exactly.
least, diba, it's, and one thing din naman kasi, I think the main takeaway from all of that is that, and again, going back, like, I think the main takeaway from that is that we were serious about this, but we didn't take it too seriously na it took over our lives. You know,
Right, right.
it took over our lives. We still had friends. We still had fun. We had time to do stupid shit. I think the nature and the industry that we grew up in just made us more or a little bit more reckless than usual.
Yeah, yeah.
Pero ano we had more fun than others. Kumbaga, we had more fun than others. And then leading to from after graduation and then taking it a little bit more seriously, balancing life or working life with training.
Yeah.
Eh,
When I started working, I was still learning how to balance life because again, like in college, I trained too much, but I didn't study so much. Whereas with work naman, I worked too much and I neglected training. And
mm-hmm.
like I said, eventually I felt unhealthy. I wasn't happy with myself. So yeah, slowly but surely I learned how to balance both. And yeah, I like I think you really need to balance everything as much as possible. Uh, like when all I did was training naman, I lost touch with friends who have been friends with for like ever since we were like 4 years old. So yeah, of course something's going to be
Something's gonna
sacrificed.
give.
So yeah, so you have to see what you really like or what you really want. But for me, what I want is I want a balanced life. I want to be able to provide for my family,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I want to do my best to, you know, win jiu-jitsu, compete in jiu-jitsu. And
Mm-hmm.
like to give you a concrete example, like how I balance training is, like for example, 9 a.m. I start work, so I work on
Uh-huh.
my lap, and then 12 because I don't eat lunch anyway. I would go to KMA to train,
Mm.
which was perfect because
Yeah.
that's why I make the lunchtime class.
Mm.
So people who have their own businesses can sneak out during lunchtime. They can train.
Mm.
So
And
yeah,
it's,
so
ito
that's,
yun
that's
nagkakaroon ng market yan
exactly.
Nagkakaroon ng market yan
Yep,
Okay.
for sure. So yeah, so 9 to 12, I would work. 12 o'clock, I'll start training, and then after that, I'll go back to work, and then at night, that's when I have my formal class in
Class in
jiu-jitsu,
the
right?
evening.
So that's more or less how I balance my jiu-jitsu. Luckily, like si Trish, she was my girlfriend then, so she trained jiu-jitsu as well, so she was always there. So I was sort of lucky because I'm not sure if girls, girlfriends that don't train would understand the way we are.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
You seem to be doing fine.
Hindi, ano yan, tawag dito, pero ito yan
Yeah.
Diba? I'm just telling you, public service announcement to medyo skew tayo. Public service announcement. If you have a boyfriend that is training in jiu-jitsu, that's the only thing you have to worry about. Because it's either we're with you or we're at the gym. That's it.
Exactly.
Diba?
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. Kasi, ano yun like, past relationships, cool, parang like, you're doing jiu-jitsu, parang ang daming reklamo. I'm like, at least alam mo nasan ako, di ba? It's either I'm in the gym or I'm with you. Or, di ba? Pag
Yeah, that's true.
gumigimik ako, kasama ko, teammates ko pa rin. Di ba? So I'm like, There's no, you don't have to go, NBI on me. You don't have to stalk whoever. You don't, diba, these typical girl things that girls do that they will never admit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I think that's why like Trish, I hope like Trish trusts me a lot because
patay tayo
at the
dyan
end
sa
of the
I
day,
hope na
it's
yan.
gonna- she knows I'm just gonna be in the gym, nowhere else.
Diba?
She knows
Like,
I'm like good enough, to just
diba? So girls out there, whoever's gonna watch this, date the jiu-jitsu guy.
yeah.
It's the least of your worries. Kasi ito lang yun eh. Like, I got compared to, the other boyfriends, and I'm like a year after, they were all gone. Kasi all the guys cheated on their girlfriends. And I'm like, I'm in the
We'll
gym.
just
I'm in the gym.
exactly.
Diba? So at
You're
least,
getting married soon, right?
ano?
Or you're getting married soon, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
to an
Are you
amazing woman.
not preparing?
Oh yeah, we're preparing, pero ano muna, like we want to have a house first. So we're
Right.
working on that. Kasi I mean the whole marriage thing, it's a piece of paper, 'di ba? What's more important is your relationship with each other, and
Yeah.
then what are your plans for the future? Like what is it's easy to get married. The
Yeah.
life after the ceremony is more important. Well, at least for me.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least for us, that is more important. Like, what do we do after the ceremony? Diba? What is life after marriage? Or after marilis yung SDE, after malabas lahat ng photos, diba? I think that's a more important
Yeah.
aspect
Yeah.
of life.
Yeah.
Kasi it's gonna be, it's a new journey for the both of you. So at least ayun, we want to prepare more for that.
Yeah. So
Diba? So
the reason
at least ayun.
yeah.
Pero ito, how is married life? Because you just got married.
Oh man, there are times where you want to choke each other out, but at the end of the day, you just learn how to live with each other and learn how to
Mm.
respect each other's differences.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, but the reason why I ask if you're hands on is because I notice a lot of jiu-jiteros are very hands on. Like
Very hands-on.
my
Are.
four of my
I
mates
mean,
or friends in jiu-jitsu, they're like super hands on, and I was super hands on too.
kasi ano yan eh. I think, aminin man I think whether we admit it or not, since we like to be in control,
Yeah, yeah, we're control.
okay, we want to dip our fingers even on stuff that we don't really know. I think that is better. I think pero in reality, we just Google this stuff.
Exactly.
Pero,
I
um,
because it's all because we as jiu-jiteros we like to be prepared. We like to know what to expect.
mhm,
Yeah.
I agree. And one thing that jiu-jitsu has a very big impact on my life, and I use it every day, is it's from analyzing anything from problems to, and basically it's a problem solving process.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you treat you treat each situation as a puzzle that you try to solve from different angles. So that's more or less how I approach things, and that's how I approach people. That's how I approach anything that is being offered to me. That is how I do my best to perceive things. Na parang okay, if this is what's in front of me, I have to research, or I have to watch out. Ano ba yung angulo dito? What are the possible outcomes? So at least yun, feeling ko yun yung, that's one of the main reasons why we tend to be more hands-on to most, if not all things.
Yeah.
Diba? And it's I don't want to say we're control freaks. I think it's just that we want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
We want to be made aware of what's happening because
Yeah.
we don't like it. We don't like it when we don't know possible outcomes. We don't really
Exactly.
like surprises, di ba? Kasi normally when you go to matches or when you compete especially, di ba, doon
Yeah.
ka maiinis sa mga sneaky na attacks eh, di ba? It's either yung mga biglaang attacks that you weren't prepared for, or the sneaky ones. Those are
Yeah.
like, damn, he got me on that one. Damn, he got me on that one. So I think more or less That's the main reason behind that. And yun din, like the challenges of, and this is what I share with my students as well, na parang you guys, to some degree, sabi ko, to some degree, you guys have it easy, or you guys are having it easier. But we were training at a time wherein majority of us were white belts. Nobody was a brown belt.
Yeah.
Diba? During that time, if you're a blue belt, medyo badass ka na eh.
Yeah.
Pagka purple belt ka, parang medyo demigod ka na eh, 'di ba? Parang wow. And then
Exactly.
pag may naka-brown belt nun, medyo konti na lang. Pag may black belt ka na, akala mo Diyos na Diyos yung ano mo eh. Parang shit, may na black belt. Diba? Pero at least ano siya eh, it's a process wherein we were born in this stage, or we were training, we were competing. We were actually, our batch was actually, I'm very proud to say this, na our batch was responsible for growing jiu-jitsu in the Philippines.
Right. Right.
Diba? We continued the momentum. We didn't give up on the art. We didn't give up on our coaches and teammates. And at the time wherein people never really understood jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
we continued. We continued to train, even if people thought that it was weird, diba? It was violent,
Yeah.
or it was barbaric.
Yeah.
We and I think that's the reason why, one of the main reasons why people from the OG era down to our batch, it's easier for them to come back. Kasi the bond was formed, the relationships were strong.
Yeah. Teams were more
Um,
then. So yeah, like you really have that strong bond with your
mhm. Kasi basically you were all doing something that nobody else really understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically it. That bonded you all together. And now, sabi ko, now you can, when dati, we'll wait for coaches' time to, I mean, of course, the coaches back then were also working. So I have
Yeah.
to wait, you had to wait for them. When they arrive, saka lang magsa-start ang training, di ba? And then you don't know what's gonna happen after that.
Yeah.
Di ba? Now, you can't train, okay, I'll watch a few videos on YouTube, di ba? Apparently, I can drill stuff on my own, di ba? I mean, kaya rin, and this is also a factor why there are so many great talent at white belt.
Yeah.
White belt pa lang, ang dami ng magagaling. You can see potential talent, and now the shift is now hindi naman changing, pero there's more focus on retention,
Yeah.
on what do you call this? Making sure that the fundamentals are sound. Your basics have to be solid kasi now everyone wants to be a fucking highlight reel. They watch all of these fancy stuff na, then they all want to do the fancy stuff. And at least for me, I want it to be still rooted on the self-defense aspect of jiu-jitsu, na parang it's all about being dominant, it's all about control,
So
and then finishing.
yeah.
Diba? That will always be the pillar of jiu-jitsu, and that will always be the brand of jiu-jitsu that I will teach. Diba? And back then, sabi ko, we would wait for information to come. Diba? It's either Alvin comes back from the States, or he comes back from Brazil and teaches us new stuff, or
So
you'll
DVD.
oh, diba? It's ano eh. And then you have to balance life, you have to balance work with training, you have to balance your relationships with training, and it's so hard to make other people understand,
Yeah.
diba?
Exactly.
Yeah. So at least then, I like, it's ikaw, do you like the growth of jiu-jitsu, or
But
do you like what's happening now?
yeah, I mean, I love it because like the white belts are starting to move like purple belts, and
Mm-hmm.
some of them they just like they have so much opportunity to grow from it now.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like with the national team, the government pays them a lot now, and it's better support. Although it could be better supported in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a everything,
It's a
Whereas
start.
before, it's like, you compete, you pay for it yourself and everything,
Oo. Di ba, pag magko-compete tayo abroad, puta, wala namang, di ba, not unless, it's so hard to get sponsors because when you tell them jiu-jitsu, they go like, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Huh?
exactly.
Di
Yeah,
ba? Kasi, di ba, ako naman, I like the growth. I just hope that it would be faster than what's happening because, I mean, alam mo yun, we're a very combat sports oriented country. We excel in combat sports, pero there is little support for combat sports,
yeah.
diba? And
It's what we should concentrate on because look at all the sports that we do well in. It's all combat sports.
oh,
Taekwondo, boxing.
diba? Kasi MMA, boxing, yan yung mga ang tawag dito, all the martial arts sports. I mean, if the Sea Games is a good gauge, like your people from taekwondo, karate, arnis, 'di ba? They all won, 'di ba? Most of the medals came from that, and then the jiu-jitsu team showed up. 'Di ba?
Yeah,
They won medals for so para sa akin, I'm like, come on, government, or at least private sector. Kasi government, you can't really, the government will always find excuses, di ba? They will always. Pero I'm like, private sector, come on, di ba? Di ba? This is an untapped market and it's growing.
yep.
Di ba? It's a growing community. So why aren't we, why aren't we there yet? So ako, I have different like kasi ito yun eh. One key this is a feedback by one of my teammates and it's actually a good point. So now I want to hear your take on this. It's a difficult spectator sport.
I, to be honest, I sort of agree with him because
Oh.
look at like when you watch UFC pa lang, like for the uneducated fan, as soon as it gets to the ground, they start booing, they start
Ah.
saying shit like kiss him or hug him or whatever. you, I love it when I hear that. Like in your CC, those guys at the back, those guys are the best.
Pero kasi nakakatawa tayo pero kasi nangyari siya eh.
Yeah,
Nangyari siya eh, di ba? So,
yeah. So yeah, I think yeah, it is like it is difficult for the everyday person to appreciate the beauty of jiu-jitsu.
mhm.
Yeah.
Di ba? Kasi so at least when I was given that feedback, the more I started attacking it from that angle. Na parang okay, so if you can't if it's hard to get on board it, probably because it's hard to understand it. So now that's why as much as possible when I post anything on social media, yeah, it's more of being informative na. It's I don't want to post about, diba? I'll probably have photos of myself or my teammates or anything that's happening, but at least it's informative na. I want to shift to being informative kasi yun nga eh, parang I think people just are not yet sold to the idea of jiu-jitsu because they don't know it yet. So
Yeah,
at
they don't.
least they don't. So that was actually one of the better conversations I had with. And ito yun this person, this is a student, this is a white belt. So
Yeah,
at least it's more, it's very valid. Kasi nga bago siya eh.
yeah,
So medyo,
yeah,
I like that insight.
yeah.
And then afterwards, career, you're working, you're still training, you almost quit, and then you got back on track, and then now you're teaching, you're still training, and it just sucks that we're all on lockdown. Pero tell me the story, okay, of the brand that we love, okay, the brainchild and the creation of Knots and Crosses. Okay,
All right.
what is the story behind that? So at least when people see the brand and they see the logo, 'di ba? They get the full story, 'di ba? Kasi
Right.
ang ginagawa natin parang snippet lang eh, 'di ba? So at least now we get to tell the story. So Knots and
So,
crosses na.
all right. So I'll start with a little backstory.
Go.
Not
Telling you,
people know
man.
this.
We got time.
Like original brand name was actually Luch Lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, it got pretty good reception, but apparently it was also a name of a gym called Luch
Okay.
Training Ground or something like that.
Okay.
So, there was like a little bit of legal issues. They're suing us and everything. So I just thought, we could fight it or just start over now. So I just decided, I don't want this drama.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
Mm-hmm.
decided a lot of my like lawyer friends were saying that they can't touch me. It's not valid because lucha is a generic word, so
Yeah,
you
it
can't.
is.
Yeah. So yeah, but they actually filed it in court. Like I
Okay.
ignored it well, but they filed it, and then yeah. So yeah, eventually I just said, you know what, let's just start over now.
Okay.
Yeah. So knots and crosses. Now, the whole gi business started because, I've always wanted to design my own gis, and I
Mm-hmm.
ask a lot of people, hey, can you make a gi for me? Like, I'll send you the designs and everything. What's your MOQ? But these big brands never responded. And then, luckily, a friend of mine, he's actually my classmate from grade 3. He's from Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that I was training jiu-jitsu, and he's like, "Hey, you train jiu-jitsu, right? You want to try out like making some gis because I'm but he's a manufacturer of the cotton. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, he's not a manufacturer of gis per se, but he manufactures the cotton.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I got into it. He introduced me to some people, and then I tried both. Like I tried Pakistan gis. I think they're great. It's harder to bring in, and there are some cons. Like the stitching isn't as good as the one made in China. In
Mm-hmm.
China, the stitching is good because they have better machinery and they're a little more organized, but they are inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you sort of have to balance between the two. That's why it's a learning process. Actually, I fucked up a lot of times with our past releases,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So sorry, I went a little off track. But yeah. So why knots and crosses?
Yeah, pero
Because
it's good. I mean, that's a good insight kasi at least now people who will start their own businesses, whether it be jiu-jitsu or non-jiu-jitsu related, will realize na parang it's not smooth sailing kagad, 'di ba? You will fuck up, 'di ba?
people won't believe this, but I actually lost 1 million, close to 1 million,
Mm.
with
Oo, 'di ba? Like initial ano natin noon, parang you told me the story and I'm like, fuck. pero 'di ba? Tinuloy mo pa rin eh. Sabi ko,
yeah, yeah. And like I always I knew from the beginning that if I started this, I was gonna start big, and I just wanted to start like international right away.
Mhm.
It sort of that's I guess that's part of our success story.
Mhm.
That from the we didn't want to be like for Philippine market lang or whatever.
Oo.
Like I want big, I wanted to be known everywhere.
Mhm.
You know. So yeah, I mean I took that risk of ordering a large quantity, and luckily thanks to people like you, this
Wala ba?
did pretty
Wala
well on
naman.
our first pieces. Yeah.
I'm just the guy that wore it, man.
No,
I'm
you.
just the guy that wore it during tournaments. Kasi
Yeah.
it's ano eh, I like that. Sige, let's you finish the story then. So from creating and then the concept behind it, the
Right.
story behind the concept.
Yeah. So yeah. So like I said, so there's a lot of trial and error, and then I started checking out Alibaba.
Mm-hmm.
Here's like if you're gonna start your own gi brand, this is what I would recommend. I recommend you to actually not now, obviously, but I urge you to go to the factory itself and check. Do a lot of checks
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times they'll send you photos in Alibaba, which is far. Like I went to 4 different factories in China, and
Mm-hmm.
all of like really, really shit. They'll claim they'll claim that they're blah 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 supplier,
Oh,
but it's all bullshit. Like they don't
oh
know what
man.
to a jujitsu. But luckily,
And
on the way,
that's time, money, effort. Oh like wow.
yeah,
Damn.
it,
Okay.
about to give up. So I was walking back to the train station, lost, not sure where I was going. And then I see like a box, like someone unloading a box in the
Uh-huh.
factory. It says VHTS. So I was like,
Okay.
what? So I took a peek, and then just so happens that that was the manufacturer of VHTS. And then I spoke to
Okay.
this simple, young-looking guy. Same like me, wearing a black shirt,
Uh
young guy who's just standing up and smoking. And I was like, "Hey, sorry, do you know the owner? Like, I wanna ask if he could show me around this factory." And then he happened to be the owner. He's like 30. Yeah, runs like one of the best, most organized factories in China.
okay.
And like from then on, we started getting from them.
Mm-hmm.
And then so yeah, so now like our direction is we get from both China and Pakistan, depending on
Mm-hmm.
what style,
Okay.
right?
And
And
which material is better, the stitching, the details.
exactly, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And it's hard to please everyone because everyone will have different feedbacks. Like our very first release, my favorite actually, it's hard and rough, which I like, but
Mhm.
they're like, oh, it's too hard. So I upgraded it to a better material, which is soft. But then they complained that it was too soft. Blah, blah, blah. So it's a little bit. And I,
It's too soft.
yeah,
Feeling ko ito yun
there's
eh. It was too soft kasi ito ata yung release na pag napawisan, nagsistretch
right,
lalo.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yun yun. Yung humahaba yung sleeves
But
mo.
actually,
Oo.
mas mahal yun, ah. Mas mahal yun kaysa sa the first one.
But that wasn't a bad release. That wasn't so bad. I mean, that was the only issue. And di ba,
But,
nag-uusap tayo, sabi ko, pag humaba, gumaganon eh.
right, right.
Pero sabi
Yeah.
ko, pero overall, it was fine. I'm still using it. I'm still using it. So,
Yeah.
so at least ayun. And then, so from there, China, and then you went back. And then, how about the story behind some of the designs? I mean, what do you recall? Kasi I'm asking him out of the fly. This is not scripted. So like, the concept, the story behind the designs, kung ano yung naalala mo, like what do you remember?
So,
Kasi
so
those were like some pretty dope designs. I like the one when you started releasing knots and crosses here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yun,
Like
that was like, okay, now he got it right. This fucker
shit.
got it right.
Yeah. So, starting with the name Knots and Crosses, we decided on Knots and Crosses because I thought of like, what is jujitsu to me? And a lot of people say chess, but
Mhm,
like for me, it's like faster paced than chess. So
mhm,
it's like tic tac toe, but
mhm.
tic tac toe doesn't sound so nice. So I did some research, and supposedly the original name of tic tac toe is Knots
It's
and
knots and crosses.
that's
Well, kaya nga nung sinabi mo sa akin, we're changing our name to knots and crosses. I go like, tic-tac-toe yun ah. TikTok to yun ah.
exactly.
It was actually it was when I first read the shift,
Yeah,
I mean to be honest,
yeah.
I was actually happier with Nuts and Crosses compared to Luch
Life.
Lifestyle.
Yeah,
Kasi I mean branding wise, 'di ba? LTLF
right. I
versus
didn't even use LTLF. We had to adjust Luch to LTLF because they were suing us. So
oh.
even when we changed it to LTLF, they still wanted to sue us.
Ah, talaga?
Yeah, that's why from Luch Lifestyle naging LTLF.
Okay. Tsaka ano rin eh, parang when you see the word luch kasi, people who does martial arts will say they know luch. Pero yung iba, they'll say lute, 'di ba? Loot, 'di ba? So
Exactly.
medyo so I kind of Noughts and Crosses is a more mainstream appeal, but at the
It,
same time,
it,
'di ba?
yeah, it was
It's
like a blessing in disguise because I really like the name. It has like a classy feel, like knots and crosses.
and then
So, and
when
then a lot of people ask about like our hashtag beware the robot
Beware
face.
the robot face. Now
Yeah.
is the time to explain it.
All right. So I was just I was just thinking about who we want to represent. Like, what is our brand and who would represent our brands the best? And I thought about it, and it's like if you look at all the greatest jiu-jiteros, these guys aren't the ones that are like shouting before matches or being
Mhm.
like crazy, being tough or whatever. These guys are like, the people with no emotions, like Hodger. Win or lose, he's just like, diba?
Yeah.
Bro, those are
Marcelo.
the look out for. So that's why I was like, beware the robot face. So it's just, robot face. It
Diba?
also has like weird, you know, sound to it. So that's why, like, yeah.
Okay, so at least now that is the rationale, the story behind it, and so at least kahit papano now I could now since we're on record I could actually like kasi when people ask me naman I always say because when you say the robot face it's like your faceless jujitero, diba?
Yeah.
And when you have a faceless jujitero it simply means that it could be anybody and it could be everybody,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah.
Diba? So ano siya? So para siyang ano, sabi ko and that also was one of I mean that was at least my interpretation and that really gravitated me towards the brand kasi on sa basketball naman kasi may end one eh. Si end one ginamit nila yung the faceless player and
Uh,
I like
uh,
that idea. So I go
yeah.
like okay, here's a brand that is because I love basketball and then here comes another brand that comes along that has the same direction and the same passion for it. So I'm like, nah, okay. This is for me. Sabi ko, I like this. Sabi ko, this is for me. So
Yeah.
si Knots and Crosses tic-tac-toe naman kasi is tic-tac-toe is very easy, but it's also very hard. In the same way that jiu-jitsu is I mean, we're gonna compare tic-tac-toe with jiu-jitsu is you already know what is the you know the possible moves of your opponent. You just
Yeah.
don't know when they're gonna do it.
Exactly.
You don't know when they're gonna do it. They don't know how they will do it or
Yeah.
how they will sneak it in.
Yeah.
Much like tic-tac-toe, you're confined with 9 rows or 9 blocks.
Mhm.
Diba? You already know these. You already know the possible outcomes and sequences in your head. Pero there will always be that one thing that will catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Diba? That's knots and crosses. So and I really like wearing it. It feels good. I like how I represent it. I'm hope. Sabi ko lang, di ba, kahit naman, pag nag-uusap naman tayo, sabi ko, I just want to do my part in represent in repping the brand and just making people know about it. So at least ayun. So now from there, si Knots and Crosses, and then now you're opening a new chapter in your life. Tell us about how Carpe Diem Philippines started.
All right. So I was basically left without a team,
Mm-hmm.
and
We will get to that
um,
later.
shit. You're getting in trouble.
Gagawa tayo ng issue dito. Gagawa tayo ng issue.
No, so yeah, so I was left without a team, and um, I initially thought about, hey, maybe I should join this team, maybe I should join that team. But then I was like, I'm at this point in my life where I want to start my own and build my own history. So I started thinking about which team to affiliate. That was the next question. And, of course, I thought about the big names and everything, but I thought to myself, like, will these big names really give me the support I need?
Mm.
Right? Will these guys that live in the States or in Brazil really go to the Philippines as much as I want? And how
Yep.
expensive will it be? So, I thought about Carpe Diem. It was, it has a solid foundation. They have different players of different styles. And
Mm-hmm.
they've been super supportive. Like, it's so easy to talk to them. And, imagine if I want to bring a black belt in for training camp. It's not so expensive. It's
Yeah.
and to the Philippines, it's nothing compared to the states of the Philippines. So yeah, I thought about what would be beneficial for me in the long run.
Mhm.
And decided it was Carpe Diem.
Mhm. And
That's
then
why.
and it's ako when it was nung nagkaroon ng teaser and then I go like fuck nag Carpe Diem si Jaguar. That's actually a that's actually a smart move.
Well, what made you realize na, uy, parang Carpe Diem si Jag?
Ah, hindi. Nag-post ka na ng Japan photos. Ah,
Okay.
sabi ko, Japan. Okay, sige. Tapos, then you posted walking photos and laundry photos in the district of Carpe Diem. So I go like,
This is it.
sabi ko, this guy is going Carpe Diem. So if he's bringing Carpe Diem here, magkakaroon ng Carpe Diem Philippines. Anak ng wedding, bagay yun ah. Sabi ko, bagay yun ah. It's actually, and it's a better fit. It's a better fit. Kasi, I mean, prior to us doing this, we were already talking without recording. Yun. So, and I told Jaguar na parang Carpe Diem is a better fit. And during the time that he didn't have a team, he was training with other teams. They welcomed him. Sinabi ko rin naman, di ba, nag-usap din naman tayo. Like, ano ba to? I messaged you and kay Kayo ba na seminar yon or ano? Basta sinasabi ko, di ba, Jack, you need a gym to train, come to my gym, di ba?
And like,
If-
I have to put this out there. Like, I really, really appreciated like all the teams that reached out to me. It really meant the world to me that you guys are welcoming me, despite knowing I was on the team and everything.
Mm,
And
diba?
despite me like not committing that might not train with you guys, but
Oh.
so I mean I might not end up in your team, but you guys still welcome me, and like yeah, and every team welcomed me, and it was
Mm.
just I felt like I really appreciated all of you guys for giving me a home to train.
Mm. Diba?
Thanks,
Kasi,
guys.
kasi ako sinabi ko, I'm like, we message each other and I go like, bro, you need a gym or you need mat space to train, just go to our gym, diba?
Yeah,
There's no trouble there.
yeah, and
Kasi
I did to
sa
Miggy.
Makati.
Yeah,
Oo,
tapos
diba?
naligo ako sa me. I swear I did.
So, diba? Dapat pala, ano, nagkataon pa, sobrang walking distance lang. Diba?
Yeah.
Walking distance lang. Pero I mean, ano rin yun eh. I think it's politics aside, I think it's the friendship between the people who were all. I mean, we all came from that batch, eh, diba? So at least, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much anymore. And at
Yeah.
the same time, hindi ka naman kupal kasi eh.
I hope
Ah,
so.
hindi ka,
Yeah.
diba? So, diba? That's the reason. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are welcoming about you training to their gyms, and they also know na you're not the kind na who's out there to hurt people during training. Diba? You're not an asshole on the mats. So you're okay to train with. Diba? You're gonna be someone who will be parang added value in terms of whatever, how many times you train there, 'di ba? Ako naman, sabi ko naman, walang problema. And then you're always welcome to, I mean, he was always welcome in our team. But I also had that conversation with Jaguar na parang, bro, you know the culture of my team. It's either you go all in or wag na lang. 'Di ba? Nag-usap tayo nun. And then on top of that, we also ended up na parang, okay, if you really want, I mean, later on din naman kasi you're gonna end up making a decision kasi you can't stay there forever, 'di ba? You can't be in limbo forever. So bringing in a new team and bringing it as your own team is a very good decision kasi now it's gonna make everything much more fun. 'Di
Yeah,
ba? It's gonna
exactly.
make everything, the landscape changed. The landscape is gonna change in such a way that it's very unpredictable now,
Yeah,
'di ba? I mean, if we're we've always talked about the scene as a whole, diba?
Yeah.
Whether in private conversations or like right now, and so many things have shaped up, diba? You're gonna open Carpe Diem. Ali Sulit has his own affiliation, diba? And then some of the Atos guys joined Ali Sulit, diba? So they joined Ali Sulit Jiu-Jitsu. So that's now gonna be a different. They're gonna create their own culture. Carpe Diem will create its own culture. They will create their own culture, and then now it's a matter of growth. Diba? It's a matter
Exactly.
of growth.
It's gonna be a lot of
And ano yun? Um, by no means is it gonna be easy.
yeah, for sure.
By no means is it gonna be easy because
You
you
have to
will be
start.
managed. Yes, you're basically starting over, di ba?
It's, listen, yeah.
Di ba? So
Yep.
you're sabi ko kaya when people ask kaya pag kayo mga nag-uusap-usap na parang naku, nag-join forces sila, naku, nagano sila. Sabi ko, sa tingin niyo madali 'yun? Sabi ko, hindi madali 'yun. Sabi ko, they will be facing challenges that established teams have already gone through.
Exactly.
Diba?
Yeah.
That's and it's gonna take it's gonna take uh reassurance, and firm decisions.
Exactly.
Yun
Yeah.
yun. And
Yeah.
the way that and so far, like how is Carpe Diem shaping up? Like how is Carpe Diem shaping up now?
Really good, man. And like I was lucky. I was lucky because a couple of people didn't have gyms as well. Apparently.
Oh,
Yes.
so sinong confirmed lineup ni Carpe Diem Philippines?
Who I can confirm and say
Yeah,
is, of course, like see Myron. So he was, because I heard like
sinuwerte ka
he
sa hayop na yun. Sinuwerte ka dun. That guy is good. I will
yeah,
vouch for him. I will
yeah.
vouch for him. That guy's my brother. That guy's my brother. He's good. Okay. Sino pa?
So yeah, so luckily he didn't have a team also. And just to clarify, guys, like one thing important to me is that, and I can show you the text too. Like I told all of my students that in under no circumstance should they be poaching students.
Mm,
Like yes, you can welcome them if they ask, but do not poach students because it's something that's just a no-no to me,
yeah,
right?
and that is
So
good.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, so luckily like so sila Myron, and then I think the Rugrats cross trained one time in
Mm-hmm.
BG with Ronin,
Mm-hmm.
and then like they were sort of in limbo also, so we're all on the same page. So
Okay.
like yeah, so Carpe Diem is basically a group of people who are lost but want to head to the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can't go
yeah,
wrong
so
with
we're
that. The Rugrats, the Ruggies, and Myron.
yeah,
So, ano na lang yan. Tawag ito, it's all about bringing everyone on the same page na lang. Bringing
exactly.
everyone on the same page. Kasi, you can't really, I mean, Rugrats, nagko-compete yan. Myron and his team, that's the versatility of Myron. He's a very good teacher in the sense that he will teach you based on how much you want to learn.
Right.
But at the same time, he's gonna impose his lessons on you. Ganun siya
Yeah,
kagaling.
yeah,
Galing siyang
yeah.
teacher. And then he's a good coach. He's a good teacher in terms of like, yan, kung gusto mo lang mag-jujitsu because you want to do jujitsu or you want to do jujitsu competitively.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And I
ano.
think
Then he's got
like because you can't expect people who don't want to compete to like sacrifice twice a day training.
oh
At
no, you
the
don't.
same time, you want to compete, and if you want to win, you really have to push these guys to their limits.
Mm.
So
It's a good
like with you,
mix. That's a very good mix.
good mix. Yeah, and that's why like what's nice about Carpe, like in my opinion, the program that I'm doing is I learned from the mistakes before, and all
Mm-hmm.
the things I didn't like in KME, I'm finally going to fix it.
Oo
So like
naman. Kasi that's the reason why a lot of people do their own. I mean, that's the reason why uh, students who become coaches establish either their own school or their own chapters. Kasi nga, they want to run things the way they want to. Di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi kahit naman ako, in, in gyms I teach or in gyms that I handle, in chapters that I handle, it's either you do it my way or you can go out. Oh, it's simple. You don't like how I teach? There's the door.
Exactly.
I don't.
Yeah.
Makes life easier for the both of us, di ba? Di ba? So at least ayun. Now, so in in relation to that, di ba? Gawa tayo since we're both teaching, coach's pet peeve.
Um. Hmm. I'm pretty patient, so
Oh shit! Ano, meron ka kinaiinisan? Ano ka? Ano?
number one, they
Ah.
only show up to competition.
Okay, yan. Pero lahat ng teams meron, no?
Exactly.
Diba? Lahat ng teams meron.
And it's funny, they do pretty well. They do pretty well till maybe white belt, early blue belt. Pero after that,
Wala na. And then, okay, you give one, I give one. Only shows up during sparring.
yeah, that's another. Yeah.
Diba? Or,
Mine is
Ka.
if how do I say this? It's like you teach, they'll drill it a couple of times and then they stop after like 2 reps.
Oh! Meron kaming ganyan. Meron din kaming ganyan. Yung akala nila after 2-3 reps okay na siya. Parang nagets mo na? Ang galing mo na? Kaya mo nang gawin?
Yeah.
Galing
That's
mo,
why I like to that when I teach, sometimes I just teach one lesson and I just make them do it over and over again. And I'm like variation, but like the concept is always the same.
The concept is there. Ako rin eh. When I saw people do that, okay, I limited myself to like 2 lessons a day or 2 lessons per training. Like, seriously? Seriously? Okay, ako. See, I call this naman I call this the extra 2 steps. Like for example, I show them a pass. So you do the pass, you're done. You go back to original point and then you do it again, di ba? Para lang to build muscle memory. Sila si extra 2 steps. Yung talagang they take it a step further. After knee cut, pupuntang mount, tas mag-arm bar.
Tapos titingin sa'yo for
approval. Di ba? Or parang validation na parang, ang galing ko, no? I took it a step further.
Yeah.
Aren't you proud of me? Aren't you proud of me? Like, okay. Ano pa? Sige, let's do last two. Kasi baka mamaya kung sinong makarinig nito, gawan tayo ng listahan eh. Gawan tayo ng...
Parang ako yun eh.
Oo, di ba? Parang sinabi ko yun eh. O sige, last 2 tayo para hindi ma-out lahat.
Yeah. One thing I always tell my students, it's not a pet peeve, but sometimes my students, when they train, they say, I can't anymore, or hindi ko na kaya, or they'll spar and then they'll, I tell them to spar all rounds, but they stop. And tell them, like, if you stop every time you're tired, your threshold is always going to be just here.
After that,
push further, so that next time when you train, you can go further, and then you're slowly building your way up.
That is true.
Like, if you stop when you're tired, you're never gonna get through that threshold. So you gotta push. Of course, like if you can't breathe or you're dying or you're puking, then I'll let them rest. Or and this doesn't just go for like and this is part of why I love teaching. This doesn't just go for competitors, but even like your hobbyists, I still try to push them a little bit because I know they can do more. And feeling for me as an instructor is when you think about their day one and how they couldn't even shrimp, and then how confident they are now. And I think that's the most more satisfying than any medal that I've won.
That is true.
Like,
Agree. Okay. That's your last one. Ako last one ko. This is a little generic. Um, Transferees or visitors or transients. Mostly this happens sa mga mga transients, yung mga they'll be here for a month or
yeah.
they'll be here then they cross train with us. Yung higher belts that bully white belts but
Uh-huh.
they don't want to go with fellow colored belts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Medyo may sense. Like for example, meron kami naging bisita noon na blue belt siya. He'll beat up the white belts. Yung tipong he'll sometimes be rough.
Yeah.
And then you pair him up with another colored belt, then all of a sudden he's tired. He needs to go home na raw, or something came up, or he's nursing an injury. I'm like, ina nito ah. So ang gagawin ko ngayon, I'll, I'll what I do now is I'll get a very like I'll get a colored belt that is smaller than yung mga tipong hindi niya yung alam niya na feeling niya kakayanin niya, pero that guy's a super duper na athlete, so I'm like he or she will end up beating up that guy. We
Yeah.
probably won't see the guy anymore. or or I'll make him go up against the gatekeepers of our gym.
Yeah, yeah.
Yan. Then I'll tell the gatekeeper, saktan mo nga yan. Saktan mo nga yan. Ano to? Nananakit ng white belt? Sabi
Yeah.
niya, saktan mo nga yan. Kasi syempre, because especially now, if I do it, they go like, no, beat me because you're a black belt. No, you're so good. They're like, okay, no. I'll probably get a really good white belt or a really good blue belt. I'm like, go with that guy. I don't like, he's not welcome here anymore. Let's make him feel that way. Kasi ako, it's either I do
Yeah.
that on my own,
Yeah.
or I'll have someone do it na belt level niya, or I'll risk the fact na this person who is a visitor and he'll injure my students,
Yeah.
diba? Diba?
Exactly.
Or he'll go too far, or ma-discourage yung ibang estudyante kasi nasasaktan sila. Kasi it's either I do that, or pag may sinaktan siyang estudyante ko, medyo mahal ko yung mga estudyante ko, upakan ko siya dun sa gym mismo. Diba? So I'm like, okay, we'll do that. We'll go that route. Diba?
But it's pretty cool. Like, I find that a lot of foreigners that visit,
I'm
they're
not
surprised
saying,
with
ayun na,
yeah.
I'm not saying that all foreigners are that. We like siguro out of 100 foreigners that we train with, siguro they'll probably like one or two who are assholes. But everyone else is a charm. They're all beautiful people. They're all amazing people. Okay, so ano lang yan. It's like one off lang talaga to. Di mo siya maiwasan. It's one of those things that we have to live with. Okay. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. No, I don't know if like they're just being nice, but a lot of them seem to be surprised with the level of jiu-jitsu in the Philippines. And actually, they went to Carpe Diem. They a lot of them were actually surprised as well, like with the level, because the national team, like sila Mark Lindale visited, and they were surprised. Like, you guys are actually very good, especially the girls, man. I feel like we have the best girls team in like Asia.
Oo naman. Oo naman. Ako, I believe that. Diba, you have a team that has Annie Ramirez, Jolico, Kim Custodio, Megi Ochoa, diba? I mean, Kyla Napoles, who's gonna stop that?
Yep.
Diba? Syempre, I got teammates who can stop them, pero, diba? I mean, that's a pretty solid lineup. I mean, that's not a bullshit lineup. That's a very strong lineup.
Yeah.
Diba? You can't, maghahakot yung mga yun. Maghahakot yung mga yun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole RP team did. I was super happy when they medaled sa SEA Games.
Yeah.
I was very much. I mean, I was in a meeting. My laptop was open. There was a small box small YouTube box there. I was paying attention more dun sa matches nila, ano. I was paying attention more on the matches of nila Dean Rojas, nila Gian, nila. I was watching their matches more. I almost shouted in Kyla's match kasi muntika na
Yeah, no,
si Jess sa kanya. I'm like, ikaw. Kala mo, ha? Di ba?
yeah.
AO what? AO what? Di ba? So I was happy for their turnout. I mean, they did really really well. They deserve all the success, and I just hope that this is a good step towards, I mean, popularizing jiu-jitsu in the Philippines. It's something that we can aspire to, okay?
Yeah.
Kasi me and my teammates, we will do our way of doing jiu-jitsu and teaching and spreading jiu-jitsu. Other teams, and now you're gonna have your own team. You're gonna do your own way of doing it, diba? So at the end of the day, it's all about how are we going to spread jiu-jitsu for everyone.
Yeah.
Kasi wala eh. Basketball country pa rin tayo. I'm not dissing basketball. I
Yeah.
love basketball, pero
I,
like seriously, LeBron, di ba? There are so many reasons not to focus too much on basketball. Di ba? Di ba? And then now Carpe Diem, Carpe Diem, bakit nagka-Carpe Diem? Kasi wala kang team. So paano ka natanggal sa KMA?
okay.
This is it.
Well,
Ano, ito lang talaga yun. Ito talaga yung gusto kong itanong. Kaya kita niyaya sa podcast ko para manggaling sa akin. Ako magiging boy abunda ngayon.
all right. Without bringing too much drama, I think at the end of the day,
No!
like,
Drama is the best! Let's go, Jag! Let's go!
yeah. So it's more of like a coach and I, we don't see eye to eye anymore. And
Mhm.
well, I believe like um here's the thing, like this will happen eventually. You know, students will always have a little bit of different philosophy than their instructor. But I think
It will happen, yeah.
but I think, you know, the student and instructor should be able to respect each other's philosophy enough, you know.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, coach didn't. He felt that I undermined and disrespected him,
Mhm.
and on my side, I felt a little bit betrayed, and I felt like my dedication and loyalty wasn't appreciated. So
Mhm.
that's basically the gist of why I left. I left, and
Mhm. Okay. So malinaw yun, ha? Okay, I left.
um, like it's it. There's a lot of drama, and there's a lot of
Of course, it's given.
that like there was a lot of things inside that was not said to me. I felt like coach had a lot of things kept inside, and he never talked to me about it. And
Mhm.
that's where it started, in my opinion, in my side at least. That's where it started. You know,
Mhm.
we started drifting apart, and to add fuel to the fire. And this one, like I said, I don't want to put too much drama, but this one I have to say.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of the rumors that were said to coach were not true. And
Okay.
there's a guy from KME who is my batchmate who
Mhm.
started talking shit about me and
Mhm.
spreading shit not true.
Mhm.
And I know who you are, so like
Yan. Di
yeah,
ba?
I never saw you as someone I hated or anything. I always saw you as my teammate, and I hope you
Mhm.
concentrate becoming a better version of yourself than spending your
Mhm.
time spreading rumors about. Because
Mhm.
it's, I mean, I hope it helped you, but you know, I just don't find that it helps anyone.
Mhm.
So I guess your next question was what sort of rumors?
Okay.
Alright. So
Ako, tatanungin ko talaga yon.
uh, I won't say like the major ones, but some of it was like
Kasi, oh,
teach. Sorry, I would corner other teams versus teams from like or members from KMA, which is that true. Like
okay.
he's because this is when I started teaching checkmat,
Oo.
and I would have taught that cornered that girl regardless what team she was because she's a friend. She's the one that introduced Trish to me.
Oo.
Yeah. So I cornered this girl, but I asked her first if she was fighting anyone from KMA kasi syempre out of respect I'm not corner.
Oo.
And she, her first fight was her teammate from Checkmat. Her second fight was someone from Atos.
Okay.
Apparently, it was whoever that person who spread rumors told coach that I was coaching against KMA teammates. Another
Hirap.
is
Ang hirap. Ang hirap.
another
Oh.
is like I was poaching people to train at Checkmat,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
true. And this is why I appreciate like Coach Manny so much because like if you guys are wondering how I got into teaching checkmat, it's exactly what you said. Like Tuesday, Thursday, there's no gi training at KMA.
Mm.
So, where else can I train? So I can train at Atos or I can train and then like I've been training at Atos actually. I've been training like Tuesday with Aldo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at their gym. And then when I heard checkmat was starting up, I was like, okay, sure, cool. I can train there also. And then I heard that they were looking for an instructor. So, and I just thought, hey, like maybe like there's some days na wala silang instructor, baka I can teach in exchange for like free training. And then like Manny said, no, like we'll pay you. And I've never been paid, so I was like, okay, that's great. So I can cross train and get paid. So I was happy with that deal. And I spoke to everyone. I told Manny na I hope you understand, but I still have to represent KMA, and it was no drama for him. And then the coach, and then at the time he was okay with it too. And the way I explained it was because like ever since BGC became BGC, we've lost a couple of students that don't work in Makati anymore. So
Yeah.
my idea was okay. So if I taught at Ronin, at least the people from KMA that used to train can start training again. And I told Coach Manny like if it's okay na some like some KMA members would like to cross train, and if they train at that gym, can they remain KMA pa rin, just like me? And he said, sure, no problem. So,
Okay.
all this time I thought it was okay, everything was fine, right? Like true enough, I have like students that stopped training because they work at BGC who started training again. So for me, it was
Yeah,
like,
because traffic is horrible.
yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible. Like Makati to BGC, impossible. So yeah, everything was fine until things started happening. Words started spreading. Then
Well,
I just
it was that move naman kasi, that move that's bound to happen. 'Di ba? Even if you say that's fine, it's okay. I mean, culturally especially in our industry, mangyayari at mangyayari 'yun. 'Di ba?
yeah
Given na mangyayari 'yun, someone is bound to spread shit.
yeah it's crazy because I try to be nice to at least of course I'm strict with my students, but I try to be nice to everyone. It doesn't matter if they're bulok or they're really
Uh,
good. Treat them with the same respect I treat anyone.
mhm.
And at the gym, I'm always the one that's telling everyone to just, if there's like chismis or fights on Facebook, just forget about it, concentrate on training. So I always try to stay away from drama. But I don't know, it's just that guy just decided he wanted to put drama with me. So
'Di ba? It's like that's I mean, That's the problem with I think that's a problem with human beings in general. I mean, the lure, 'di ba? The lure, the yung the lure, the mystique, yung juiciness ng chismis talaga. It's gonna bear fruit eh. It's something that I have yet to understand, to be honest as well. Di ko rin alam. Marami talaga eh. It suddenly becomes a three-faceted thing eh.
Yeah.
It's your story, his story, and the truth. Yun ang
But
mangyayari dyan.
and I sort of understand the yearning to know more about the story or chismis, but I just don't understand why people need to spread rumors to bring
And
people down.
why did it have to spread? You'd expect you'd expect people to have better judgment, or since they know you, they know your personality, they diba?
That's exactly why I left, and that's why I don't hold any grudge to that guy who spread rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since before, there's another instructor that talks shit about me from KME, but
Mm-hmm.
I mind it. I don't mind it. I don't mind
Mm.
it. But it's
And
disappointed
it's
that I
not
was
in
never.
your personality rin naman to
I mean, I'm dealing.
kapatulan. Hindi naman.
I'd rather concentrate on how to counter your pass. You know what I
Oo,
mean?
diba?
I'd rather concentrate on learning how to, better and bowl better, whatever. So yeah, but I was the part of the reason why I sort of left is I was disappointed that I was never confronted with those rumors, and
And that is something that's another rumor ingredient that will never be solved. Because hindi yan mangyayari. Hindi yan mangyayari. Bihira siya mangyari. Yung people will actually ask you for validation, or they will ask your side of the story. That's medyo
eh,
mahirap yun. Medyo
yeah,
it's not gonna
some
happen, or
yeah,
they'll never be satisfied with your answer.
exactly, yeah. I mean, I've given like 12 years to that team, and even if I came from submission sport, when they left I stayed with KMA, you know
Oh,
and I just felt like, and I taught almost every day, and I just felt like I at least deserved to be confronted with these rumors, but
mm-hmm,
I wasn't. And it just felt like, okay, so I'm at this point in life where I have to do what's best for me. I'm not
that's
like a teenager anymore, so I gotta look out for myself. I have to make jujitsu work for me.
mm-hmm.
Like, I have a family now, so I can't just do this for out of a hobby.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
And you know, after this quarantine, it's gonna be like we don't know what are the provisions.
yeah,
Where everything's uncertain. But one thing is for sure, this is something that will not. This is something that will not stop us, especially jujitsu and martial artists. This will not. This will not stop us from training. This will not stop us from going to the gym and putting on our gis and rolling,
yeah.
diba? Like
With that,
ikaw, like
I do think we need to make some changes to make it a safer and cleaner environment for people to train in.
and here's the thing. I mean, without sound I mean it probably is gonna sound that I'm dissing other gyms. Pero like now, naalala, nakita mo ba yung mga post ng mga gyms like yung pre-lockdown, di ba? Everyone's emphasizing on sanitation, we're disinfecting, we're doing this, we're doing that. We are what do you call it? We're investing in high grade, ganyan ganyan ganyan. And I'm pretty sure this is not just me. Parang gusto ko sabihin, and jujitsu guys, on the other hand, will be like, we've been doing that since day one.
Yeah, we fear rainbow more than the virus, man.
Diba? Now you're like Clorox and Lysol and diba? Like hospital, diba? Proud na proud, diba? Hospital grade alcohol. And every jiu-jitsu gym be like, we've been doing that since
Yeah.
day one. What are you like? We're disinfecting. We're wiping our equipment. We're mopping the gym every day. So This has been in, ano alam mo yun? I mean, kaya rin mapapansin mo, while everyone was like posting how they disinfect their gyms, makikita mo, the jiu-jitsu gyms were like, walang ganun eh. Walang masyadong ganung, ano, basta sila sabi nila, we're 100% clean. We're 100% clean here. That is guaranteed. We have perfected this. We know the right ratio of alcohol, Lysol, and Clorox. I mean, we know what fibers to use. We know what mop works best, diba?
Yep.
So I'm like, come on. I'm like, I was actually laughing. I was like, wow, ganito na tayo kapag. I mean, this is like the amount of fear that this virus has put into people's lives, and then now it's all about pagandahan ng disinfectants. Sabi ko, kami ginagawa na namin to since day one. Kasi ito yung mas nakakatakot kaysa sa coronavirus, okay? Staff. Mas nakakatakot magka-staff. So, I mean, for us fighters, that's the worst nightmare. Kaya, yeah, like this is nothing. I mean, you this one ain't got nothing on us. So, brother, let's wrap this up. So I don't wanna keep you. Baka si Trish bigla na lang sabihin, okay, kayong dalawa. Ito na po. Okay, bro. Where can people find you? Your account, the school's account. Okay, plug them in here, bro.
All right, thanks, man. So, my name is Jaguar Tang. If you have any questions in training or technique, you can send me a message at JagCDBJJ. For gears, you can contact Franco or you can contact us straight at Knots and Crosses. And finally, if you want to pass by our gym, we accept anyone from any team. Just make sure he asks permission. Just make sure he asks permission. But I'm opening Carpe Diem on May, assuming the lockdown ends. We're located in Somerset Olympia building. That's right across Ayala Triangle and in front of Urdaneta. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can look for us in our Instagram account at Carpe Diem BJJ _ Manila. Okay. And
What else?
you can
Okay.
also go. Yeah, you can also go to our website at www.carpediembjj.ph.
Lovely. So, Jaguar Tang, Knots and Crosses, Carpe Diem Manila. Brother, thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Always good to see you, bro.
Yeah, man. And that's what Coach Franco says.
Coach Franco Says would like to thank our partners for making this episode possible.
Knots and Crosses. For your gi, no gi, MMA, and streetwear, order your items on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Awon Coffee. For delicious locally sourced beans for your daily brew. Order yours now on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Spelled AWON Coffee. Gatorade. Because nothing beats Gatorade. For the best DefTac Jiu-Jitsu training out there, come and check out DefTac Rockwell, DefTac Makati, and over here in the South, DefTac Better Living. Book your classes on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Read news about the local martial arts scene here in the Philippines, visit Local MMA on Facebook, and listen to one of my favorite podcasts out there, Destroyer MNL. So that's it, guys. See you on the next episode.